And we back with another one. Y'all already know what's going on. It's your boy Daz, and this my journal where I spit some shit that's gonna motivate you, inspire you, or it might be something that you just need to hear. With all that being said, I'm just giving you a game that I'm learning on an everyday basis. What we jumping into today is watch what you pay attention to, because whatever you pay attention to grows. Say that one more time for y'all. Watch what you pay attention to, because whatever you pay attention to grows. A lot of time we focus on the negative because we be trying to anticipate like all the things that could go wrong. Like we human. Don't get me wrong, I do it too. I still do it. Even now that I'm working on myself and I'm working on my mind and I'm working on just being a better person, I'm human. So I still try to anticipate what can go wrong, or I anticipate I'll try to anticipate the future, or I'll worry about the future, have negative thoughts about the future, or have negative thoughts, think about the past, and just come up and start worrying. Because it will be a lot of times scenes from the past will try to come back, try to make it look like that's what's gonna happen in the future, when that's what's not gonna happen in the future. A lot of times it's different outcomes. That's why you gotta have trust and faith in God, that you know you're gonna get to where you're going. Cause I heard this before, right? I heard this saying before. It said, when you worry, that's like giving power to the devil. Because God asked you to keep faith for a reason. God asked you to keep faith because when you keep faith, it's like you believing. Faith is like you believing in something that you can't see yet. You believing in something even if you don't know it's going to work. You got to have faith, because if you don't have faith in yourself, you're not going to put in the work that it takes to get where you want to be. 2 years ago or 3 years before I started working out, I would see who I want to be, but 2 or 3 years ago, my mind, I didn't have so much faith, but I always put the work in. And now that I see, oh, okay, if I put the work in, I'll get to where I want to be. That didn't build my faith, but it's just an example. If you put the work in, you're going to get to where you want to be. So you should stop worrying. Have more faith in God. Have faith that God, that if you got a vision in your head of something and you see it, have faith that if you work with God, God gonna work back with you. A lot of times we like to worry more than we like to have faith. It's this one thing I do. I'm gonna give y'all something out of my textbook. I will talk to God and I'll be like, God, I'm having a rough day, but whatever I'm going through, I'm putting it in your hands. I don't know what's this feeling about. I don't know why I'm feeling like this, but I'm putting all this in your hands. And I promise you're gonna feel much lighter. You're gonna feel way much more lighter. So stop worrying, because you're only feeding the enemy. And start having faith. Another thing I wanted to get into is if you keep asking yourself what you wanna be, if you wanna be a millionaire, if you wanna be a star, if you wanna be a top doctor, if you wanna be a top lawyer, if you keep asking yourself, what can I do to get there? How can I get there? How can I get there? How can I get there? If you keep asking yourself that, eventually your brain is going to start coming up with answers, or little steps for you to take it's either going to change you or change what you're doing as a person to get to where you want to get to in life. And I'm telling you from experience, because my life is just every time I ask myself, how can I get to where I want to be in life? How can I do this? How can I do that? My mind tell me answers. It tell you yo, start doing this, do this. Give me little ideas. And I know it's not just me. I know it's all of us. So stop looking at the little ideas that your mind tell you and thinking that they little ideas, because they're not. They big ideas that can blow up and turn probably bigger than what you expected. That's why you gotta have faith and believe in yourself. And because, yeah, I wrote it down, but a lot of time when we ask ourselves, how can I get to that? Say for instance, you say you want to be a millionaire. How can I be a millionaire? How can I be a millionaire? How can I be a millionaire? Every time, how can I get closer to $1 million? How can I get closer to $1 million? How can I get $1 million before such and such time? Have a time date too. When you set a time limit on something, and make you act faster. So have a time. How can I get $1 million before this year is over? How can I get $1 million before this month is over? And your mind gonna start giving you ways to get there. But if you're not the person that if you're not the person who you're supposed to be to hold that $1 million, you're not gonna get the $1 million. But you're gonna keep growing and growing and growing eventually until you become the person who can retain that $1 million. And then you're gonna get it. So it's all about growth. And that's why I say pay attention to your goals. Yeah, if you pay attention to your goals, right? All you're gonna be focused on your goals. So any distractions, especially like one distraction that used to have me in a bond, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, was lust. I used to be very lustful. I used to, but now that I'm focused, and every time I ask myself, I get up, I ask myself, how can I be better? How can I be better? How can I be better? How can I do such and such? How can I achieve my goal? Every day I ask myself that. I wake up and I say, today's gonna be a great day. How can I get 1% better than my goal, 1% closer to my goal, or how can I achieve my goal? And I'm telling you, your mind works in mysterious ways where it will start to just formulate the way you move, how everything is gonna just be different. You're gonna start seeing little changes. So focus on on asking yourself, how can I get better, instead of saying, oh, just visualizing it and not like actually asking yourself how to get there. Because you got to question yourself. So a lot of times we think that we can see a vision and it's just going to come to us. No, we got to work for it too. We got to meet God halfway. So if we meeting God halfway, we got to ask ourselves, we got to ask God, what can I do to get closer to my dream, or the dream that you put in my head, or the vision that you put in my eyes? You get what I'm saying? That's so another thing that can help with just asking yourself asking yourself what you want out of your goals, or how can you attain your goals, is being in the now. What I mean is look at yourself right now and be like, all right, I'm right here. If you outside right now, I'm outside right now, I'm making this video. If I wasn't making this video right now and I was outside, I would be thinking, what can I do right now to make to get 1% closer to my goal? What can I do right now to get 1% closer to my goal? And keep asking yourself that, and then you're gonna come up with you're gonna hear a million ideas pop up. It might be things that you don't want to get to, or it might be things that as soon as you think about it and you think oh, I'm gonna start doing this, you might feel lazy. That's another thing. A lot of times we'll feel where we know we're supposed to do something, those be not the hardest thing to do, but it feel like it's so much pressure on us, and those are the things that you gotta get done. And I'm talking to y'all just as much as I'm talking to myself. Cause I be telling myself that sometimes I don't want to record songs. Sometimes I get up, I know I have to record a song, but I don't want to record it because I'm just being lazy, or I'm not in the mood. And I'll be like, I'm doing it now. God protect me. God please protect me. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of times we'll feel like we'll know what we're supposed to do, but we won't just jump straight into it because we had that feeling of fear. But whatever you fear, you head straight into. Remember that, y'all. And last but not least is, I'm sorry for burping so much. My fault, y'all. But be grateful for everything. When I say everything, I mean life. I don't want to talk bad about I'm not talking bad about anybody, but it's just so much going on in this world that we gotta be thankful that we got our body, we got our limbs, we got everything intact, that we can still think and move on to become better. You get what I'm saying, y'all? We still have the opportunity to get better. No matter what situation you're going through, we all have the opportunity to still get better. So with that being said, we gotta just learn to just be a little bit more grateful and thank God, and be you know what, God, I'm so thankful that you got me here, and I still got all my limbs. I still could see, I still could hear, I still could talk, I still could smell, I just got all my senses. You gotta just be thankful for the little things. Be thankful for what you got. If you got anything that can help you get closer towards your goals, be thankful for that. Just be thankful for everything. everything. Literally, let's just be thankful for everything. Sometimes I'll find myself in a rut and I'll be like, oh, I'm going through this. And I had to look back and be like, yo, I'm not that bad off. I'm not that bad off. I could walk, I could talk, I could still formulate plans to make to reach my goals. I'm still ready, willing, and able to reach my goals, to do things to reach my goals. Like, God provided me, which I know if He gave y'all a dream, He provided you with something that can help you get closer to your dream, even if it don't look as big as it's supposed to look right now. God still provided something to get you closer to your dream. And just be grateful for that, you know? Be grateful for the little things. So when you get the big things, you know how to be grateful for that too. And with all that being said, pay attention to what you pay attention to. Because whatever you pay attention to grows. One more time, pay attention to what you pay attention to. Because whatever you pay attention to grows. And on that note, put God first. Ask Him to guide you in all your steps, protect you from anything that's going on around you that you can't see, as you can't protect yourself from. And keep being great. That being said, I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.